To build on the excitement for the annual Eurovision Song Contest, which is set to kick off next week, organizers in Switzerland recently held a throwback event to get folks in the host city of Basel in the mood for music. Almost 1,400 tickets were sold for the sensational senior soiree, with most of the participants being 60 years old or older. That means some here might be the same age as Eurovision itself, which launched in 1956. The songs they danced to rolled through the decades, from the 60s through the 80s, so everybody got to twist again like they did last century. And a man who said he didn't really get into Eurovision still thought it was fun to see so many events for different age groups. It's kind of like American Idol meets American Bandstand across the Atlantic, with nostalgia stealing the show. Is the U.S. government going to reopen the Rock? That's the nickname of Alcatraz prison, and that's our next subject on The World from A to Z. I'm Carl Azus. Alcatraz is located off the coast of San Francisco, California. It's visited by more than 1.5 million tourists annually, but it's been over 60 years since Alcatraz actually housed inmates. The Rock is more than a mile from shore. It's surrounded by cold waters and strong currents. It was almost impossible to escape from. But those same characteristics made it very expensive to operate, more than the government thought it was worth, and it shut down as a prison in 1963. This week, though, President Donald Trump directed the government to reopen and expand Alcatraz to once again house America's most violent offenders. He said the country needs law and order and that Alcatraz represents it. This idea has been floated before, but was rejected because of the costs involved and its popularity as a tourist attraction. And critics say that's still the issue, that it would take too much money to reopen the Rock as a prison, and that the president's proposal isn't a serious one. The National Historic Landmark served as a U.S. naval base in the mid-1800s. It was used as a military prison during the Civil War and a federal penitentiary in the 1930s. Infamous gangsters Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly did time at Alcatraz, in addition to other dangerous inmates.
With the busy summer travel season just weeks away, air travelers are already dealing with delays.
We had to wait 2 hours in Los Angeles to even board the plane.
Passengers at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey frustrated.
I have a lot of travel coming up, so hopefully they can resolve this quickly.
Technical failures and a lack of air traffic controllers have disrupted air travel at Newark. United Airlines announcing Friday they're canceling 35 round-trip flights per day from their Newark schedule. CEO Scott Kirby releasing a statement saying, in part, Newark Airport cannot handle the number of planes that are scheduled to operate there in the weeks and months ahead. The lack of air traffic controllers is a nationwide problem. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying this week the air traffic control stations across the U.S. are short by about 3,000 controllers. They've been offering higher salaries and bonuses as an incentive, but the hiring and training can still take months.
It's our job to actually see over the horizon what the issues are and fix it before there is an incident that we will seriously regret it.
These issues come just days ahead of the federal government enforcing real ID requirements. Come May 7th, all passengers flying domestically will now need a special driver's license or ID that in most states has a star in the right corner. If they don't, they'll need to bring their passport or other approved documents to fly. The TSA warning passengers to expect delays during this transition. In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Word out. What was English medical student Roger Bannister doing on this date in 1954? Researching an artificial heart, rowing in the Olympics, reviewing a rocket launch, running a record mile. On a windy and rainy May 6th in Oxford, Bannister was running a record mile, becoming the first athlete to complete the feat in less than 4 minutes.
On this date in world history, Rome wasn't built in a day, but the city was sacked in a day, and that was on this date in 15. 1527. There were tensions between Charles V, who was the Holy Roman Emperor, and Pope Clement VII, who lived in Rome. The Pope had teamed up with other countries to challenge Charles's strength, and that had strained their relationship at the time when Charles's mercenary forces brutally attacked Rome. Many scholars see the city's fall as the end of the Renaissance in Italy. Over in France, the Eiffel Tower officially opened to the public on this date in 1889. It was built for the International Exposition of that year, also known as the Paris World's Fair, and at the time it was the tallest man-made structure on Earth. And the Hindenburg disaster occurred on May 6th in 1937. As the huge German airship attempted to land in Lakehurst, New Jersey, it burst into flames, killing 36 people. Of those who'd been aboard, 62 survived. And while it's a mystery of history why the incident occurred, cameras were there and recording when it did.
Where in the world? You'll find this place between the Atlantic Ocean and the North Sea. In both literature and the Latin language, it's sometimes called Caledonia. This is the northernmost division of the United Kingdom. This is Scotland, once an independent country that merged with England in 1707 to form the UK.
An exciting discovery along the coast of Scotland. Routine maintenance on a lighthouse uncovering a piece of its history. A message in a bottle, found tucked under a floorboard. And a peek inside revealed a 132-year-old message. Dated September 4th, 1892, it includes the names of engineers who installed the lighthouse lens.
This lantern was erected by James Wells, engineer, and John Westwood.
Engineers described finding the note as an emotional moment.
It was like the guys that wrote it were here with us. It was like that, we could feel them. There's always a presence, actually, a kind of atmosphere in an old lighthouse.
Unexpectedly, they found parallels between their work and the work engineers did back then.
Well, the interesting thing was, Ross is here to work on exactly the same lens as they installed.
So that was a huge coincidence with it all, that we were actually here to work on the machinery that they are referring to in this letter.
Construction on the Corswell Lighthouse finished several decades prior to the letter. In 1815, the same day Napoleon surrendered at the Battle of Waterloo. It's been a beacon against the rough seas of southwest Scotland ever since, steering sailors safely away from treacherous rocks along the coast. Today, the old lighthouse is part of a hotel, and its current owners are, shall we say, delighted with the bottle's discovery.
We always sort of wonder what life was like for the people who actually lived and worked here, and to have that absolute connection and see their handwriting and think what possessed them to put it in a bottle and put it under a floorboard. It's fantastic.
The letter will now be returned to the lighthouse where it was found, but the engineers who discovered it are planning to add a note of their own to the bottle, their own signal for future generations.
What day is it?
Today, May 6th, is National No Homework Day. It's not observed everywhere, and it's more of a modern idea than a historic event. But it still aims to give students a temporary break from after-school assignments, which have been around for centuries.
There are several communities in multiple countries called Plymouth. One of them is a city in the Great Lakes state of Michigan. It's where Mr. Watson's class is watching. Hello to everyone at West Middle School. Meantime, the Tigers are crouched at Dawson County Middle School. From the Peach State of Georgia, it's Mrs. Adams' class that's with us from Dawsonville. And we'll wrap today in the battle-born state of Nevada, where Green Valley High School is watching. Mr. Otter's class, we see you and the Gators in Henderson.
Take a look at an angry bird in Atlanta that isn't playing around in a weird series of run-ins caught on camera by yours truly. There's no news here, but I'm an avid bird watcher and as such couldn't peel myself away from the scene of unsuspecting passersby repeatedly incurring the wrath of a brash bird likely defending a nearby nest. It even chased off a large hawk that entered its no-fly zone. Some were blissfully unaware of the winged vigilantes' warmongering, and thankfully all seemed to survive unharmed from these surly birds' furious feathered foul play that unfolded on, wait for it, Fowler Street.
like that at the end. Such a burdensome beast requires a no-nonsense nickname like Bertie the Kid, Aaron Bird, Bernie Madoff, Bertie and Clyde, Pablo Escobar, Benedict Arnold, Carlo Gimberto, Bertie Siegel, and of course, Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. And that brings us full circle today on The World from A to Z. I'm Carl Azus, always thankful you're here. You mean the world to me.